Warning. The following podcast features terrible jokes, usually about board games. Like those jokes your dad tells that make you groan. Yeah, those kind of jokes. Accordingly, Boards and Swords and the producers must insist that no one attempt to recreate any joke performed on this podcast.
Watch very closely now. 3, 2, 1. Bzow! Check that out.
We want the fun. Gotta have that fun.
Is it okay if it's okay if like when the bread touches the fries?
Do I really want to just stand still and cast a lightning bolt? No, I want to avoid you and shove a lightning bolt across.
I just crapped my alien pants.
By the way, I just want to let you guys know.
You hate all of us, and we're fired.
I've released poison into the AC system. You all have about 5 minutes left to live.
So much news, like all this stuff to talk about.
No, there's been some stuff, but it was all boring.
You didn't go with C.
Well, you need to go with C.
And our friends, we combined.
You've told that story.
We combined. Have I told it on the podcast?
I'm
Yes,
pretty sure
you
told
have.
it.
Well, I'm telling it again.
Because I just realized as I was reading this that this game's already been done. They even made a show about it. It's called Yu-Gi-Oh! And go watch it.
This is Boards and Swords.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast where we talk about bad jokes, good folks, and some tabletop games. I'm one of your hosts. My name's Chris Renshaw, and I'm going to send it over to Mr. Philip Herbig.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? We want to welcome you to this lovely, absolutely lovely, rainy Monday night.
Yeah, it was thunderstorm and stuff earlier.
It was kind of nice, man. I almost fell asleep. I love falling asleep to the rain. But I had to podcast, so I threw some garlic bread in my face. Did you know you can just make garlic bread?
Oh, yeah, I saw that thing where it's like, did you know as an adult you can make garlic bread anytime you want?
Anytime you want, man. But I did have to stop myself from just, I wanted cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I decided not to do that. Though.
Then you have that time where it's like, you're like, I can eat anything I want. And then your body's like, there's a reason you don't.
First of all, shut up.
Shut up, buddy. I will take the sickness.
I'm down with the sickness.
Yeah,
all right.
I just think
It
of the joke.
is Monday night.
Yes, it is.
2:03. We are live.
Yes.
What's on the agenda for tonight, Chris?
We have some news to talk about. And then we've got some games to play. Philip's actually got some games to talk about, or at least a game to talk about. I filled it in for you on there. And then I went to Nova, the Nova Open, which is a big tabletop miniatures convention. We're not going to go too much into it because I just went for like a day and shopped, basically. But there was a lot of Warhammer announcements.
I've done that.
Yeah. There's a lot of Warhammer announcements. And Philip's not going to know what they're all about. So we've got some out-of-context comments. I thought I had a lot of fun last time we did that, so I thought I'd bring it back, try and see if it worked again. Talking about in the chat room, Hoser40K says, speaking of Marvel Champions, you up to date? I am up to date, at least with buying stuff. I haven't played everything. I have not pre-ordered the X-Men because my store just automatically saves one for me. So maybe I guess that as technically I've pre-ordered it. I've told my store that was like anything that's Arkham Horror the card game and Marvel Champions the card game, just automatically get me one and set it aside. And they're like, we can do that. So with that, I think it's time to do some news. Hey, Philip. What do you call a Zombicide game that doesn't have miniatures? A Kickstarter that doesn't fund. All right, so there's a new game that's they're taking pre-orders for called Zombicide Gear Up that Simon is doing. It's a flip and fill Zombicide game. So you're rolling rights, you're flipping fills, your dry erase markers. In Zombicide Gear Up, players work together to survive the zombie apocalypse, fighting their way through waves of undead while they try and upgrade their weapons so they can successfully face off against the boss when it appears. Their encounters are determined by flipping over cards, which players must decide how to react to by making notes on their own dry erase boards representing their characters or on the dry erase coded cards. MSRP is $24.99. And then there was another note down here that said the company also started offering an expansion set that allows up to 12 players to play Zombicide at the same time. How are you ever going to find 11 other people to play Zombicide with? I can barely find 3. Y'all need to just go play, something else. I don't know. I feel like this is a step too far for the roll and write, flip and right mechanic. Because, again, if it's a Zombicide game without miniatures, I don't really care. Yeah, and Hoser 40 says a flip and fill. Just don't flip the fill. Nice. So players, So what do you think, Philip? Are you interested in a Zombicide roll and write game?
No, not particularly.
Yeah.
I mean, just because okay. So, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like we're getting a lot of zombie skins thrown on game.
Well, that's always been the case.
Um,
Yeah, because zombies are a thing that's not copyrighted, so it's easy to be like, it's that, but zombies.
yeah.
I mean, think of Pride and Prejudice and zombies. Same thing.
I don't know. It's just and even because like Zombicide, how many minis came in the Black Plague?
Too many.
Too many. See, and this has
It was
0.
like over 100.
So-
Yeah, because I went all in. That's why I don't think I can back another Zombicide Kickstarter ever, because it's like I don't want to paint that many minis ever again, like all at once. In fact, it was to the point I was looking at I think I mentioned this on the show, where they said that the Marvel Zombies, that the regular set would come with hero minis, but standees for the generic zombies. And I was like, oh, I'll just use my Black Plague zombies and just get the cheaper version of the game and just sub out the standees.
Yeah, man.
So, all right. So for the next one, my friend, if I can try and do this, my friend didn't want their kid to be afraid of death, so they named her Autumn because seasons don't fear the Reaper. So I saw this, and normally some of these these are indie things, and I only throw these in here when this catches my eye. Snowbright Studio announces Inc. This is a tabletop RPG set in the afterlife. So this new tabletop RPG explores what happens when characters die and must go on to a life in the islands of the spirit world. Players must survive the treacherous waters of the afterlife as they look for answers to mysteries in their past life. This next part is what really got me. It gives you the chance for players to play characters from old RPG campaigns and give them new life to those characters with their death in this D6 based system. I think because like we've had a lot of different RPGs that are like, a lot of different. I'm sure there's probably several afterlife theme RPGs. I just don't know of that many of them. Or
Yeah.
I don't know of any of them. I'm sure they're out there, but this concept just seems super cool to me.
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
You can play the Althorn versions 1 through 3.
Those guys are still alive. Gnomes can live up to 400 years.
Well, one of them's in like the astral plane, right? And
Althorn the First.
Yeah, Althorn the First. That's the one that put the bag of holding and the portable hole together, right?
Yes, and sucked Tiamat away.
I still want to
from the
know
rest of the
because
party.
doesn't that only do like a 20-foot range?
Okay, well then,
Did it only do, like-
20-foot range of her is in there?
That's what I'm
and the
saying.
rest
Like,
of her
did it just
body
take like
is-
a chunk out of her, or?
Well, she's like at the end of Eternals. There's just like her skeleton is just
Yeah.
sitting in the ground.
Or is it one of those things that's like it's like the Stargate where like because it knows there's a whole being there, it just takes the whole being kind of thing.
Oh, that could be too. Yeah.
And
Except
that
when
is
they turned it off on Kowalski's head and
yeah.
sliced half his skull off.
I think that's because it was still in transit,
Oh yeah.
or it was still in the dematiculating. This has been your Stargate minute for the. I just need a little counter that's like episodes since Stargate was referenced, and it just keeps going back to 0.
That's actually a thing in Destiny 2.
Oh, what's that?
When you're on the tower, and if you die, there's a days without incident counter in the hangar. I don't know if I've seen it get above 4.
Hey man, you got to watch out there. You jump the wrong way. So next up, I invested in a new shake shop that's opening up at Disney World. It's being called Malt Disney. So Ravensburger, because they have the Disney license and make a bunch of Disney stuff, they announced Disney Lorcana, or at least I'm hoping that's how you say it, Lorcana, a new collectible trading card game which is going to release into retail in fall 2023. So you have a year to forget about this. Ravensburger's
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Yep, exactly. It's thrown its hat into the TCG market in a big way using its bevy of Disney licenses. It's going to feature fan favorite Disney characters in their familiar forms on cards, as well as reimagined versions. Takes place in the magical world of Lorcana and is designed for players of all levels of card gaming experience. The initial card set will be entitled Disney Lorcana, the first chapter, and will be released internationally. So, I think I have a hard time looking at RPGs, or excuse me, at TCGs, because it's so hard for those to succeed nowadays, because that market is just so saturated. And with TCGs, you have to get beyond a certain point for it to be feasible, and not many CCGs last that long, or they do it for a minute and then they lose traction and die. However, having said that, I feel like a Disney one is the one place where it could succeed, because you could be having people, you could be getting booster packs when you walk into a Disney theme park, the marketing wheels are turning for me, where you get a starter set for your first time at Disney or something like that. Plus, this depends, is it just a Disney game? Or is it using, it did say something about Disney licenses.
Yeah.
Are we going to get some Marvel guy? Are we going to get a Marvel into here? Can I have Thor versus Darth Vader and get the Star Wars in here? I feel like that's the only way this succeeds, is if they go the whole Disney route and it's everything.
What if maybe with some little Final Fantasy thrown in there too?
Yeah.
Little Kingdom Hearts going on.
Oh yeah,
Sephiroth
totally.
and just slicing the shit up. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a game that's popular, a bunch of people play it at our store, called Weiss Schwarz, where it's a whole bunch of anime properties that are it's one company that just owns a bunch of anime properties, and so there's sets for different, I think there's an Attack on Titan set, and it looked like almost every anime except for Gundam and Dragon Ball Z was in if you look in this.
Well, now I don't want to play it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and a lot of it I didn't recognize. So I didn't know what's going on, but I saw there was a Batman, because there was that Batman Ninja. Is that what it was? There was an anime looking Batman series. There's a deck for that, and I'm like, I could do that.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I'll have to show you. Maybe we'll talk about that in the bonus stuff. But if they go, I think this could be that for American audiences, where it's all the Disney stuff, and you have if a Disney movie comes out, then you can do a whole set based on that. It could be it has promise. We'll have to see on the follow through.
Oh yeah.
Ravensburger is a pretty decent name, so it's not like this is just some podunk indie shop putting this together and doesn't have the resources to follow through. They got the license and they got the money, the name and money, and the international pieces to get it worldwide. So yeah, I imagine if it's releasing fall 2023, this sounds like Essen Spiel written all over it.
Well, this also sounds like let's give ourselves an entire year to have people bash on it, and then figure out what people are griping about, what they're happy about.
That's
and
probably
try to work that in.
That you know what, you're not wrong. Oh man, this next one, this next joke requires another setup. So I need to do that. So I'm Phil. You want to? Hold on. I referenced it in my notes and forgot to pull up the thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Don't start playing. Don't start playing. Don't start playing. Don't start. No, stop.
Alt F4.
Yeah. Good. There's closed captions here, so I can.
Okay, Google, take me home. As my phone lights up.
All right. Cool. Might have it now. This has been your detour for. All right. It might be worth it. Okay. Hey Philip, what happens when you make a mistake on a book that's already gone to print?
What happens, Chris?
Oh, you suck.
Apparently that's what happens, folks.
That's what
Happens when I
happens.
make-
Here we
make a
go.
book over it.
Here we go.
It's too late to apologize.
Get it? Because when you need to make a mistake on a book that's gone to print, it's too. Yes, that was a lot of setup for a very bad pun, a very bad joke.
I didn't hear anything come through.
Oh, it was One Public's Too Late to Apologize.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
It should have at least. I'm fairly hopeful it went through the stream. You didn't hear it,
Okay.
but I'm fairly certain it went through to the stream because I heard it, which usually means. So Dungeons and Dragons apologizes for Hadozee lore, issues errata for Spelljammer books. So this is relevant. So we're gonna get to talking about this later. But Philip, when we were up against that big ship that pulled up in the first time we played, and there was like the monkey things manning the ship.
Yeah, which I pictured as the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. That's what they kind of.
Even though he showed us the picture in the book, this is what they look like. I was like,
Yeah.
that's not what they look like.
So I think I made reference to this that night, but so the D&D's design studios formally apologized for the inclusion of offensive material found in the recently released Spelljammer Adventures in Space box set. We wanted to acknowledge and own the inclusion of offensive material within our recent content. We failed you, our players, and our fans, and we are truly sorry. It says the lore was not properly vetted before publication. That design team initiated a review of the situation, which it seems like these kind of things happen all the time, and you think that the answer is just have somebody else read the book. So you might be saying, what is the deal? Like, what was so offensive? So there is this race in Spelljammer called the Hadozee. I don't know the whole story, so I'm just mostly getting it from this article here. One of 6 new playable races in Spelljammer Adventures in Space. This backstory, which had not appeared in previous versions of the Spelljammer campaign setting, claimed that a group of Hadozee, then a small mammalian race similar to flying monkeys, were kidnapped by a wizard who visited their planet and experimented on. The wizard's intent was to sell them as magically enhanced soldiers, but the Hadozee rose up and killed the wizard. And a lot of people pointed out that the Hadozee's new origin was tied uncomfortably close to forced enslavement and eugenics, which real groups of people have faced over their history. So that apparently somebody put in a little note there, and everybody was like, we're playing a fantasy game here, and that's way too close to some actual stuff that has happened in real life. So could you not, I'd like to get back to this being a fantasy game. So so they removed it, and if you look on the D&D Beyond and stuff, it's not in there. But if you have the printed books, it is mentioned in there. And Philip, we go to you for our thoughts and reactions. You look like you're deep in contemplation.
I have no
Hello.
response to that.
Oh, okay. Okay,
You
you
just
just
have a letter. I can't just hit it.
you look like you were deep in thought for that one. Okay. All right, last story here. This is all right. I killed the momentum on this news section. So I decided my dwarf mini needed more sun, but now he's really Votan. And that is Nova Open showed off the box set for the Leagues of Votan and all the cool new space dwarves coming. Like you get to see this really cool tank, which somebody pointed out, and I can't not see it now, that this tank looks like a Ninja Turtles tank.
Oh, I see it now.
In fact,
I was gonna go more with the thing from Armageddon.
oh yeah.
Like I think that had its own fancy name, but like it's got the drill, it's got the gun.
I gotta find somebody did actually. There was a paint job somebody did where they turned it into Ninja Turtles,
Ah, nice.
and I'm trying to find it. I think I found it. Here it is. Oops. Yeah, this is great radio right here. This is great stuff. All right, here we go. Yes, this is it. So here's your Ninja Turtle alternatives. Oh, I need to get it back to the screen here, where we've got the the regular guys are painted up like Casey Jones, and then you got the cars all look like Ninja Turtle cars now. And then you've got the actual turtles themselves. So I'm showing you this, and now I'm going to show you the actual minis, and you're not going to be able to unsee them for the most part. So somebody took the images that are on here and then just photoshopped them. But this is the big huge artwork for the Leagues of Votan, and then you get this cool army set, which I know this is supposed to look like some runic type stuff here. But anytime I see this, I just think this looks like an Autobot symbol over here in the corner.
Oh, like that's
Yeah. It's so cool. There's a lot of stuff in here, and these guys look so cool. I would paint that, or I would get this, especially like that cover for that codex is so bitchin'. But yeah, it's another $180. And I just bought a second tank. I needed another tank for my Horus Heresy army, and so that's in progress right now. Not very in progress, as you'll find out when we get to the bonus bits, and I can talk about the disaster of a couple of weeks I've had. But yeah, Philip. So you want to talk about D&D? So we started playing D&D again.
That's right. We found a group of people and we agreed on a schedule and we met up. That's 95% of the battle right there. Yeah, so we've been playing Spelljammer. Of course I had to luckily it takes place in the same universe, if that makes sense, from our our Horde and Rise campaigns.
Well, for the most part, most of them take place in that universe.
Yeah. So yeah, we've all got our characters, and we're doing pretty good. I don't know how much I'm missing when I'm not there because I've been closing, and then having to book it down the road.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying. I've enjoyed these first two sessions so far. I haven't leveled up my character yet.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that. I'm gonna get some more spells.
Yeah, I do like being a barbarian and just
Yeah, I mean, are you really playing that much different of a character than the previous one?
No, because it's a line of barbarian gnomes.
But it's not even that. Like, it's like the same character.
Well, I haven't I'm not going to multi-class this one into Warlock.
Nah. Well, that's because this one actually has their tongue.
That's what this one does have their tongue, yes. So they don't have to. But I don't know. But it's because in isn't Cthulhu like part of this thing we're doing?
Yes.
Yeah. So like, I don't
Well,
know, man. That tiny little
Essentially,
seed-
not like directly, but there are a race of beings that could have inspired that look like Cthulhu.
Yeah. So I mean, that Althorn first, direct blood descendant who his patron was Cthulhu, or legally distinct Cthulhu, whatever we got to do there.
Right.
So maybe that spark is just dormant inside this guy.
Oh. You just found. You're the guy that doesn't mind being typecast.
I don't, because it's so. That's like hell. When I finally figured out how to tank in WoW, it was like, yeah, this is what we're doing all the damn time.
And you just love the fact you insta-queued.
Yes, the insta queue was not horrible.
And it's it's like they say, if you're having fun, you're doing it right.
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that was bad about that was the like people who'd been doing this all their lives, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, excuse me, sir, you got to attack that over there. I'm like, bro, chill out. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, don't hit that guy in the face.
I mean,
but
I
he's
thought-
dying. That
I
works.
thought you wanted to go into a little bit of what we've been doing in
I mean, well, we've been playing D&D.
okay.
What else do you got to know? We've been we have not had a long rest yet.
Yeah, I know, right? It
Just
seems
battle after battle after battle after
yeah.
battle.
This is like the attrition battle. This is like the opposite of the start of the Tiamat campaign, where it's like weeks in between each
Yeah.
between each scenario. This is like, no, we're just immediately rolling into the other one.
We had minutes. What was that creature we nuked?
Which one?
The one in the in the brig of the ship.
Oh, are you talking about it was like a big, are you talking about the big like white bear
yeah,
thing?
the
it was
big-
like
the
a
big white bear
feral,
thing.
it was like a feral polar bear thing. I don't know the actual name of it.
Yeah, but it was like
It was like no,
skinny-
it was like a yeti. I think I wrote it down
like
as like a yeti.
a yeti.
I
was
don't know
thinking
if that was
Wendigo or
actually was.
something.
Yeah, it was the pictures made us think of like yeti or Wendigo.
All of a sudden, we just turned around a corner, and then there's some light, and we just went bah, and we all shot the hell out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a coat out of that thing.
I like my artificer. It's really nice because it's just like the DM's like, oh, this thing attacks you, and I'm like, does it?
Does it?
I
It
am-
gnaws on your arm.
Yeah, but I imagine once we get a little higher level, it's going to be like, oh, it does. It definitely does. Although I am, I am down to like 20 of my 48. I'm pretty close. I'm either bloodied or I'm about to be bloodied in old school D&D terms. Just
Wow.
because we've been keep getting hit, like all the
We
pow-
do.
Yeah.
Like
I
I
have-
finally took damage yesterday. Or
Yeah.
last time. I was like, oh, I gotta actually use that. And the app, I'm not gonna rag on the app because it's still in beta.
Mm-hmm.
Like it says right at the top, it's like beta version.
Oh, but you're
But,
talking about your special thing you're using.
Yeah, it's not really that special. Anyone can have access to it because it's online.
Well,
And
I'm
as
just
soon
saying
as
it's
you
not
log in-
it's not D&D Beyond.
It is not D&D Beyond. No, it is a Squire 5e.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm liking the D&D Beyond because it was like we were trying to remember like, oh, you get knocked. Oh, what's this condition? And all of us were like, what's that? What do those conditions mean again? And it wasn't until last time I was like, oh, hey, there's a conditions thing here. I can drop down like, oh, look, there's all these. It details out what all these conditions are. And like you
That
get the
is pretty nice.
spells, and it's like, what are my spells? Cool. What does that spell do again? And click it, and it auto takes you to the page. It's like, this is what that spell does. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, this one I've had to put a little work in. It uses the SRD.
Mm-hmm.
So like all that stuff is put in there.
Yeah,
like,
but you got to hard code anything that's not.
Yeah, which is like in the player's handbook, there's forest gnomes and rock gnomes,
Mm-hmm.
but in the SRD there's only rock gnomes.
Yes, because the SRD is an even further limited version of the player's handbook. The player's handbook is not the SRD.
So I was like, oh, I got to put in my forest gnomes and
Yeah, the SRD is like your free trial of World of Warcraft, where it'll get you to 20, but it ain't the whole game.
it did have that fancy rod of power. That was cool.
I don't know about your Rod of Power.
It could be an axe. It could be a sword. It could be a spear.
Yeah, I'm playing an Armor Artificer. So this is my first time actually playing, or at least really using magic. I think I did technically have some magic in with my druid, but I don't think she was using it a whole lot because we hadn't gotten into that many combats. It was we at least in the scenes I had gotten into, it was more role playing and puzzles than the actual combats. So this is my first time really doing the kind of magical combat pieces of 5e because I played a rogue for 15 levels. And so I managed to tweak. This is my first time like min-maxing a character that I'm really like I was consciously aware of that I was like min-maxing to where I was like, this guy's got an armor class out the wazoo. Like I've got a 20 AC. I got the heavy armor. Like, sure, I got a disadvantage when it comes to dexterity saving throws. I'll take that. I got a stealth. I take disadvantage on my stealth. You know what? Cool. I got it. Or I will accept that. I will clank all over the place. But if you hear me, you're going to try and hit me. And I'm going to be like, what's up, fool? And I'm just going to punch you with my thunder gauntlets. And I get 2 attacks. So it's like, who's coming to the gun show? Bam, bam.
Does it? Thunder gauntlets are considered two-handed, aren't they?
Well, it's just one.
Oh, it's a thunder. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like it's one thunder gauntlet, and then so I get 2 attacks, so I'm effectively hitting twice. That's the way I picture it.
If you had 2 thunder gauntlets, you could hit 3 times.
Do I need a multi-class into barbarian so I get like?
No. That's just main hand versus offhand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Because I do have 2-handed fighting. I think. Pretty sure that was listed on there. Yeah. So in addition to that, though, so yeah, we've been playing that. We haven't gotten too far. Only like 2 sessions, and I think this one will be the last one for at least a little bit because I know some people are about to go on travel. But also one of the things is in between having a terrible week last week, I managed to get together, or the other week, and get a break from house repairs to play a couple of games with Corey at the local game store. One of which I finally managed to get to the table, the 20th anniversary edition of Carcassonne. So this nice, pretty version, this pretty box, as opposed to the kind of dreary looking box that the game usually comes in, which I was already interested in the fact of how, because you know me and components and artwork, you know, like this is a much better to me version than, hold on, let me see if I can find the original Carcassonne box. Direct your attention now to the, oh, nope, here we go. Oh, these are the old, here we go. This is the old version of Carcassonne box here. So let's put them up for comparison here. Like, which one appeals more to me? But this thing is cool. So it's the basic game. You know, nothing's really changed. Other than if you've played Carcassonne, if you've ever played Carcassonne, one of the hardest bits to teach to new players is the idea of the farmer. I think you've played Carcassonne, right, Philip?
This looks familiar.
Okay. Well, the farmer's where you can like lay the guy down in the field, and he gets points for every completed castle in his field. And so sometimes it's hard to teach new players like what you know how that works, because you can't place somebody in a field if it's connected to a field that somebody's already placed something in, yada yada yada. Well, they decided to make an optional variant rule in the 20th anniversary edition here, which I think it definitely makes it'll make your first game go super fast, and then makes it a lot more easier to teach There's also a 20th anniversary expansion, which what it does is gives you these tiles that have, try to see if I can find, I'm looking through the pictures here on BGG. You can kind of see it on this one. There'll be pictures with like these little arrow symbols in the corners here. Yeah, I'll blow this up. Oh yeah, there we go. And so you'll see these like little arrows on some of the tiles. And what those will do is if you play them and don't take advantage of them, like this person here who played it, and so they'll get 2 points just for playing it. But if you play it and it's connected to a tile that's already there, like this one right here, so okay, you played it, the arrow points to this one, there's already a tile there, then there's usually there's one of 3 different types of effects. There's either, you can put a meeple on a feature that hasn't had one yet. So maybe you didn't have a meeple when a monastery or something came out, so you didn't have anything that you could put onto it. But now you can do this to be like, oh, cool, nobody claimed that, so I'm going to put it on there, and I'm finally going to get the points or be able to get points for that because I have meeples now. I didn't have them back then. There's another one that it lets you add a meeple to something you've already got a meeple on. So if you've got a guy in a castle and somebody managed to build up around it and attach their castle to yours, and now they're taking part of the castle too, you can add a meeple to that guy. So now you've got 2 on 1, and hopefully they don't do the same. So you have a bigger claim for that. And then there's another one where you just take an extra turn. So there's only like 20 going with the 20 theme. There's only like 20 of the tiles. So it's not like it's a big, huge aspect of the game, but it is something neat and new. It's an optional expansion thing, and it's really cool. The game also comes with stickers for all your meeples, as you can see on here. And another really cool thing is just on a lot of the tiles, they've just randomly incorporated the number 20. It has no mechanical benefit to the game, but just every now and then you'll just see a bunch of 20s on the thing just to help celebrate. So it's all new artwork for the most part on some of the tiles because there are new artwork on the tiles. Not all of them are new. To just help celebrate the 20th anniversary of Catan or of Carcassonne. So if you have Carcassonne, I don't know if you need this unless like Carcassonne is like your game. Then you might want it to get that 20th anniversary expansion, just so like if you're a completionist and like you got to have every Carcassonne expansion. Like there's people out there that have it. Like they make those huge big boxes. But if you're a casual fan of Carcassonne, you're probably fine with like the edition you already have that probably still in your house. If you sold it and like me talking about it, it's like, man, I really want to play Carcassonne again. Or if you're like, I've actually never played Carcassonne, then I would definitely recommend picking up this new version. In fact, I think I'm gonna take the expansions because I have like the expansion that's got the bigger meeples and stuff. I'm going to take that out of my version of the game and put them in here and then probably sell my old version of Catan and keep this new copy because it's just so pretty. And then, so there was that. And then I played this game called Block and Key, which is a game I talked about it briefly in PAX Unplugged 2019. If we go way, way back to PAX Unplugged 2019, I went and did a bunch of demos. That was the only way I could go, is I was able to get room and board, basically, for demoing a bunch of games, Inside Up Games. One of the things I saw there was this game, except for it did not have this theme at all. It was just white cardboard boxes, and I think it was called, I looked it up previously, it was like Der Standpunkt Sculptor. Something like that. It was a German name, regardless. But they have since then they have kickstarted it. It's called Block and Key now. It's got a very kind of archaeological kind of look to it. But not only has it kickstarted, it is funded. It showed up at my house about a month ago, and so I broke it out and played it. And I don't have it to show you because I let Corey borrow it to play it to show Jimmy. And I haven't gotten it back yet. And that's fine because Corey's one of those people that has to play games like a ton. So the way this game works is you have all these, I want to say they're clay, but these like polyomino shapes, like your Tetris piece type shapes that are in different colors as well as different shapes. And you will pull them out of a bag and set them on the bottom of this 2-story box. And the cool thing about this 2-story box is this is the game box. So it uses the game box to create.
Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like the bottom of the box. The place where you're playing is the top of the box. And then there's these 4 pillars that are just fold up pieces that you pull out to set it all up. So you've got this 2-tiered kind of cube going on. The bottom of the cube has these 6 spaces where, 9 spaces where all the blocks go. So you pull them out and they're numbered, and you fill up the blocks with, or fill up the spaces on the bottom of the cube, the bottom floor of the cube with these blocks. And then there's some goal cards over here off to the side. And then you get a handful of these goal cards that show you the shape that you need to complete with these blocks. And on your turn, you either place a block or you grab like a row of blocks, and you can only have so many blocks. Now, the way the game works is you'll notice the top of the box is all 3D, but the cards are all 2D. That's because to solve or to score the card, you need to have that shape from your perspective have that shape of stuff.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So what you've see, there's over here on the side, there's the card that has like 2 whites, 3 yellows, and like a green. So there's many ways you could do this. Like you could physically stack up the blocks that way, but you could also make it like here, you've got this white block that's in front of these yellows, so or these oranges. So you could have the white block like up in front and then the oranges behind it, but when you look at it in perspective, they look like they're on top of each other. So there's a couple of different ways to do this. It also means that there's 4 players doing this. So when somebody places a block, suddenly it might screw up your perspective. And so you've been working on something, and then, Corey goes and places a block right here, and it's just blocked off your oranges now. And you're like, dang it, Corey. So she dug this game. It's kind of hard not to dig this game. And it's one of those games that like any game store that gets this game in just needs to have it on display, because it's one of those games that's going to everyone's going to kind of like stop and look at it. Like we had so many people asking us questions about this game when we were in the store, just because you can't not be like, hey, what are you playing over there? Because it just has that kind of table presence. So this is from Inside Up Games, Block and Key. And it's just you basically keep playing until it kind of gives me Splendor vibes, where it's like you just keep playing till someone's scored enough goal cards, and then you get like 1 turn, and then you count up how many you've scored. But then there's also bonuses to where, like, to tie break things and to help with bonuses. At the beginning of the game, everyone gets a color, and at the end of the game, you want more, or you get like a point for every block of that color that's facing you, like that you can see from your perspective. So like if my color here was green, then there's probably like that face. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But like I wouldn't get any of these ones in the back because they're being blocked by the ones in the front.
Yep.
So you're kind of keeping that in mind while you're placing, like, and I need to place this orange, but I don't really want to place it in front of those oranges because I want to maximize my oranges. And then I don't know if I got an extra pack that had some special player powers. I don't know if that was a Kickstarter exclusive or not, because it was in like a separate pack and wasn't in the game box. So that might be a Kickstarter exclusive thing. So I won't go too much into that unless it's like just an expansion that you can get off their website, and I just got it because I was a backer.
Yeah.
But yeah, this
All
game.
players rotate 1 chair to the right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just kind of flipping through, and you can kind of see. Yeah, so you can see here kind of like how the perspective in the cards work, to try and like you're trying to line up specific things. And you can rotate the cards too. You can't invert them, but you can rotate them around to try and get the things together. But yeah, Block and Key from Inside Up Games. It's by David Van Druden, it looks like. Yeah. Really, really awesome game. It's definitely more of it's definitely a lighter game. I would put it in, like I said, in that Splendor. It gave me Splendor vibes also in just the how quick, like one of those that like you're just, once you've got the game down, you just quickly take a turn because it's either grab some blocks, place a block. So you're just kind of quickly going around and around. So it's not like there's a whole lot of downtime and this and that. So that was Block and Key. Highly recommend it. 2 thumbs up here. But Philip, making a podcast, it isn't free.
It's not.
It's free for you, and we will continue to do it. So, like, I will recoup those costs regardless, just because I enjoy making a good quality product. At least that's what I tell myself when I go to sleep at night. But it does cost money for this, and people do pay us for that because they have found that they get entertainment out of this, and we appreciate that. And those people go to patreon.com/boardsandswords. This past month was a little light on bonus episodes between the travel and my toilet having issues, which you'll find out later today, or when the bonus one for this episode comes out. But typically, you're getting a podcast every week. You're getting your regular Boards and Swords episodes, and then you're getting bonus bits every other week. That's usually us gabbing about movies we've seen, TV shows we're watching, various random stuff that happens in our life that just doesn't connect to board games. So it's funny and entertaining, but just may not be tabletop games related or gaming in general. So we shove that
real life, the game of life.
Yeah. So we do you a service and keep those out of the regular show. But if you still would like to find it humorous about the crazy antics that we get into sometimes, it's in the bonus bits. And all you got to do is back $1 a month to get that. It's probably the best way of just, I don't know if I've ever detailed into what we actually talk about in the bonus bits.
That's really in depth. I was surprised. I was like, oh yeah, we do. We talk about that, don't we? Yeah.
And with that, Philip, it is time for some heresy. No. Out of context comments.
I don't have a button for that.
You just need to do. No. So yes. So what we've got here is there was a bunch of news that happened at Nova Open in regards to Warhammer. And as a general rule, I try not to fill up the news bits when these things kind of happen because not everybody cares about Warhammer. But it's kind of funny to kind of go through the Facebook posts where they release the afterwards, the press reports about it, and then people are commenting on it, talking about their favorite thing. And I go through and find the best one to be taken out of context, and then I put it here, and Philip has to tell me what he thinks the actual news story was about. And of course, he gets a point just for trying. He gets a point if he gets it pretty close, and then he gets a point if he can make me laugh about it too. So here we go. These are all stories that were released at or in and around at least Nova Open. Some of these are kind of ongoing, but I just thought they were funny or interesting to talk about. So are you ready, Philip?
Let's do this.
All right. First one comment you have. And see, I actually did this through PowerPoint now, so you can actually like see the comment a lot better. And this is the only way I'd ever go for a game. If not, the art alone is ... wolf! Exclamation point.
The art alone is wolf. I'm trying to figure out. See, did they do like speech to text, and that's what it came up with was wolf? And in there. So what's the article about?
Yeah. What is the announcement that this person commented under?
Maybe something with the Grey Knights. Like, don't they have a wolf as their?
You're thinking Space Wolves have wolves.
I'm thinking Space Wolves.
Yes.
Somebody has a wolf. Okay. Then maybe it was someone with Space Wolves.
Nope. I give you the point for trying because you did mention something that's in 40K. But this is about
That's
Warhammer.
the only requirement. I'm just gonna keep going.
Well, that's why you get the point for trying. There's a crossover company. They're making Magic the Gathering Warhammer 40K cards.
Oh,
And they teased out because they're doing this Universes Beyond, and so they're doing a 40K set, and they released some teaser images of what some of the cards are going to look like. Like you got Marnus Caligar, and he's Astartes warrior. He's got double strike, of course, and he's all a legendary creature. And then you got Bellicor the demon. And people that are into 40K know exactly what I'm talking about. You've got the Necrons here. You got Imhotep the Stormlord. And then I think there's a Tyranids one. Yes. Magus Lucia Kane, the human Tyranid wizard. Yeah, so there's going to be 4 decks. There's Imperium, Chaos, Necrons, and Tyranids. All the different decks. So you got even more. There's like Noisy Marine. Oh, he's got like a guitar. That's cool. Noise Marine, not Noisy Marine. When Noise Marine enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to the number of spells you cast this turn to any target.
Oh, it's that guy from Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah. With like the fire.
The flames shooting out of the
Yeah,
man.
there's a group called the Sisters of Battle, and they have these like organ-based tanks, and I think about that every time because it's just like a tank with an organ on the back. And I'm like, I would totally paint that up with like some fire coming out of it, and like the dude on front with like the guitar. Like I'd make a little 3D print and like glue him on here. That'd be like that. So
the Sisters of Battle are kind of badass.
yeah, even better, the Sisters of Silence.
Oh,
have you heard of them?
I haven't seen them. I haven't seen a lot from that guy on TikTok who does videos.
So the Sisters of Silence are basically like anti-psychics. So they cancel out psychic powers whenever they're around.
Okay.
So when like the Thousand Sons, which is like the more psychic legion in the Horus Heresy, when they were getting brought to justice because they had been doing heresy by being psychic, which is what they were just being who they were. The Custodes came to bring up the Custodes, and the Space Wolves came to bring them in. Not the Custodes, the Space Wolves came to bring them in, and they brought a whole bunch of Sisters of Silence to like cancel out their powers to so that they'd be easier to take over.
Okay.
All right. Next one comment is I want my Chaos Carnival.
Okay.
I pull these because they're the funniest sounding out of context. There's a reason.
That's obviously dealing with the Rift. Is that what it's called, or the Warp?
There's both. The Warp is the area where the all chaos is, but there's a Rift that's like a giant portal that opened up to the Warp. There's the Great Rift.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Well, this is obviously talking about the Warp, and maybe some Chaos Marines going in there. Maybe we're getting some another Chaos Marine Codex.
That just came out recently, so you're in a good ballpark. It is a codex, so I'll give you a closeness point there. So I'll give you 2 points for this one.
Right.
This is an article talking about one of the last books that are the last codexes that are coming out for Horus Heresy, the Liber Imperium, which this is. You got the 2 Libers, that was the Astartes and the Heretics, that's your good Space Marines and your Heretic Space Marines. And then they just recently released the Mechanicum one, which is all of like your Knights and Titans and stuff. This is everybody else. So these are your Custodes, your Sisters of Silence that I was talking about, and your Imperial Army. So that's where the Chaos Carnival they were talking about, I guess, wanting like Chaos Cultists. They were wanting the Chaos version of this. So yes, there's an article just talking about some of the stuff coming in for Custodes and Sisters of Silence, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, and Assassins, and you can also add Assassins into your Heresy army now. with this book as well, which is great because guess what? I have assassins. Like I have this assassin here. Totally.
That's right, Assassinorium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That executor force.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reading the book right now that kind of talks about when an executor force first got brought about, because it used to be all the assassins worked alone doing their specific thing, and this is the first time they got the Horus Heresy was the first time that, like, you know, we've tried to send all of you all to go kill Horus and it failed every single time, so how about y'all work together and then maybe you can kill him that way.
Maybe.
And the best part is when you read you go into the book going like, I know y'all are going to fail because like he makes it all the way to Earth.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know how this ends. All right.
Yeah, good.
Next up, at least GW has given up setting to a single month for the release now. That's 3 months to disappoint though. Lol.
We're obviously not happy about this article. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is an article about a release schedule for a bunch of 40K expansions.
That's a almost dead on. When they did the league reveal, did I click the wrong article? But the thing I was here it is. This is what I brought up for. They released a Codex roadmap for 2022 and 2023, showing how in the summer they're going to be releasing. They just released the Chaos Demons Codex, and then in autumn, so I think in a week or two, we're going to get the Leagues of Votann Codex, and then this winter is when the Imperial Army, so the Astra Militarium, are going to be getting their Codex finally. So there's a lot of people not happy because apparently it's been like many, many years since the 8th edition version of the Codex came out. That's what everybody's been playing with ever since. And it's one of the last codexes to get released in 9th edition. And then after that, sometime in winter, will be the World Eaters Codex, which the World Eaters are like the Chaos version of Space Marines, where they're just like, we're just going to kill everything.
Is the image redacted? Is that because they just don't have artwork for
Probably.
it? Probably. Okay. I was gonna say, what if that was actually the artwork?
That's no. They're just showing like the logos on it. That's all. They just like to use funny military type terms like redacted. So yeah. That was what they were talking about, at least keeping it to 3 months. And there were comments in there talking about, like, you're going to see so many people at the end of the year being like, why haven't they released this yet? And they're like, well, it's still winter.
Winter's not over.
Yeah. Some people were speculating, like, February for the Astra Militarium.
Which wouldn't be wrong.
Yeah. You'd like that group because a lot of times it's just tank spawn. It's like mobs of tanks. Like you'll play against an Astra, Imperial Guard player, and it's just like 7 tanks. All right. Number, what are we at, 4? All right. I'd rather more interesting units like this. This starts off very bland, but just bear with me because there's some statements later on that I just found hilarious. I'd rather more interesting units like this or return of lost factions like squats every month instead of a new flavor of Primaris Lieutenant. The whole Spes Marinera thing get really stale after a while. The whole Spes Marinera thing.
Spes Marinera. All right.
I just want to like paint a bunch of like spaghetti themed Space Marines. I'm like, what chapter is this? They are the Spes Marinera. They are the Spes Marinera chapter of Marines.
Okay. So we were going with Space Marine.
Yeah.
I was thinking
the whole Space Marine thing gets really stale after. Instead of a new flavor of Primaris Lieutenant, that's just a type of model for Space Marines.
I was thinking Militarum.
Mm.
It was like autocorrect could easily change Marine or Militarum to Marinera.
Yeah. So what do you think, Philip? I'd rather more interesting units like this or return of once lost factions like squats every month instead of a new flavor of Primaris Lieutenant. the whole Spes Marinara thing gets really stale after a while.
Oh, really stale garlic bread. So interesting units. This is
I will give you a hint and say this is kind of related to a thing we just talked about a story or two ago.
okay. All right, gotcha. Give me a second. I'm gonna rewind Facebook here.
I mean, I just straight up shot the show just to bring in a clip for Don't Say It's Too Late to Apologize. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's not out of the realm of this show.
So I want to say it's got something to do with like a big unit, maybe.
It is a singular unit. I will give you that. But it is a new assassin, is what it is. So this is the what is it called? The Vanus Infosite Assassin. So this is a brand new type of assassin that we have not seen before. We've read about it. In fact, they're in the book that I'm reading now. But the problem is the Vanus Infosites, they're your like hacker assassins. They're the ones that are going to kill you by like rerouting the like think in the future where they're going to rewrite reroute automated trucks and stoplights to run you over to kill you that way, or
so it's Eagle Eye.
Yeah. So that's what the type of assassins they are, or they're masters of knowledge and able to manipulate events from afar to cause you to die. But they're actually making a model for Horus Heresy from Forge World. This is going to be a Forge World thing. They operate exclusively for loyalist armies. So this is the first time Clad Vanus has received their own model. They've been part of Warhammer lore for some time. Readers of the Heresy novel Nemesis, which is the book I'm talking about right here. So they don't say how it's gonna work, because like I said, that's why they haven't had a model before, is because it's like, how do you role play this kind of non-combat unit in a combat game? So it'll be interesting to see, and I guess we'll have to wait till the Liber Imperium comes out to find out how you can use the Vanus Assassin in your game. So now I feel like I'm going to have to get this so that my Assassin collection is complete.
Yeah, the helmet reminds me of the from Mortal Kombat. The cyborg robot. Yeah.
I see that. All right. We're almost...
There's got to be a mechanic in here where this thing's going to like hack a Titan.
Oh, now you got me really interested. All right. Two more.
One turn, you get to turn this thing around and have it fire on its own troops.
Okay. So I'll give you some hints on this one. This one, it says, how much pelt does one man need? They showed a model, they showed a figure, and somebody posted the quote of how much pelt does one man need, and then underneath it said this character, yes. So I blocked out who the character was. You don't have to know their name, but just give me like an idea, like what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The first thing that comes to mind is the vision that I currently have for my gnome.
Okay.
In D&D, because that Wendigo thing we killed, I dragged its corpse with us. I'm taking that pelt. That thing was like, what, 8 feet tall, and I'm 2 feet tall? All
right. The model in question is Horus himself, as this is the version of Horus that you can get right now is like the not quite corrupted by chaos, but still like just turned to chaos. This is, okay, we fully corrupted Horus now. This is the Horus Ascended model. He's at the height of his warp twisted powers. So go back to the thing is how much pelt does one man need? And then you see this. Jeez. Where it's like, it's not even a pelt, it's just the entire wolf on his back.
Yeah, man, that thing's just hanging out.
Yeah, as he's just walking on a pile of skulls. Yeah, there's a
and
few.
whatever that logo is in the corner there.
What logo? That one?
Not logo. No, the why does
Are-
his kneecap look like the eye of Sauron?
Well, that's because it's the Eye of Horus. It's like it's like his symbol,
Okay.
like his personal symbol. You see it everywhere.
I was gonna say,
There's like 5 of
mean-
them all over that I've counted so far. Are you talking about
it
this?
knees you in the
Are you
face,
talking
know
about
what's
this
going on.
little flag that's over here on the side?
Yeah, that's the
That just looks like a generic Space Marine banner that like maybe a
Banner, that's-
librarian or some or just a trooper would have. They've got like these little banners. Like he's got you really can't see it, but like I've just got it like he's got like a skull.
Yeah, it's got like a weird,
Yeah, it's
clan
hard.
insignia and that kind of stuff on it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's just a generic one, like or not generic, but like a specific chapter or legion probably is what that's for. Those things are a pain because they keep breaking. It's hard to get them to not break. All right, and then one more. We got one last one that says, "Imagine the sound of 100 chain blades."
100 chain blades. All right, so this is did Chaos Space Marines have chain blades?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. I'm guessing this has something to do with lots of Space Marines.
All right.
Just lots.
This
of
is the all-new Khorne Berserkers in all their savage glory, where it's talking about the Khorne Berserkers. So you're somewhat right.
corn,
Khorne.
a big lump with knobs.
Yeah. Khorne.
It's got the juice.
He's got the juice. So these new Khorne Berserkers, we're sensing a theme: chain axes and chain swords in both one and
I think it's a
two-handed
chain
varieties.
axe.
Huh?
The chain axe. It's awesome.
Yeah, right there. See? This is what you're missing out on, Philip. You could be
No.
having minis with chain axes.
No.
Plenty of bare-headed options with their butcher's nails on full displays. That's like when they've got like these things stabbing into their head to make them more aggressive. Yeah, so you got like all of these chains, different chain sword thingies, and there was even a video, Death and Glory. All right, I'm gonna turn the volume off for that. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. So lots and lots of chain swords and chain axes and chain this and chain that and blood for the blood god and all sorts of stuff. Part of me always wants to be able to paint like this, but then I'm like, I don't want to spend, a week on one mini.
One guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Like I have to do I need the middle of looks really good, but doesn't take me forever to do. Skulls for the skull throne. So yeah, the whole new set of Khorne Berserkers, rare, and they're raring to go. So there you go. Those were a lot of the big announcements for Nova Open, specifically in the Heresy and 40K varieties, because I really don't care about Age of Sigmar. Although people keep trying to get me to play Age of Sigmar, and I'm like, I don't need another minis game. I've already spent like hundreds of dollars on the games I have.
what's the difference?
Sigmar's your fantasy game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's Warhammer like 1K.
Yeah. Or just Warhammer 0.
0Ks.
Yeah. But it's different than they used to have the Warhammer fantasy battles, which was where you put the guys in trays and think of it more like think of it like that
Game of Thrones game.
Game of Thrones game that we played where they're all in trays and marching. That was kind of like that was what the old game was, and then they made this new Age of Sigmar game, which is a little bit different of a pace, and it has a lot more like back and forth than like I go, then you go, then I go, then you go kind of thing. So it's a lot different. It looks like it's kind of a smaller scale, but I don't know if that's just some of the games I've seen. Yes, I know I can get the AOS Domination box for $100 on eBay. It's at our store for $90, and I've been seeing it that way for like 6 months. It's tempting. I know. But that's the last thing I need. Plus, they play on Monday nights, and I'm here.
We got stuff to do on Monday night.
Yeah. Although I am tempted, if I did get into Age of Sigmar, A, Ashley would kill me, and B, there's this group called the Caradon Overlords, which they're basically dwarves, but they're like steampunk dwarves. So they have like airships and like guns and stuff. And I'm like, I could play that. Hold on, let me see if I can get, was it Caradon Overlord? Yeah, let me pull this back up. Yeah, you get these like that's one of their minis is this giant airship. And you just people go like crazy with it. Like I could do this group. You know, because like I'm not really much of like I don't play a lot of the Xenos factions or like the demons and stuff that you can get like orcs and such, or the corrupted chaos things. But I could probably get into some dwarves.
I'm getting Warcraft vibes with that stuff.
Yep, very much kind of Warcraft vibes. So Philip, you want to learn Age of Sigmar? We can go in on a box. It'll be $45.
That's right. Yeah. Good take.
Oh man. Next time on Boards and Swords. They play on Monday nights. It's perfect. We'll just play on the weekends. We don't podcast.
Exactly. There we go. Actually, I think Rusty Beetle is right. We do need a new soundboard button. Warhammer 40K. What?
Did I miss that? I thought.
Well, he said Space Marines, but
oh, Space Marines. What? He said we needed. That was another tidbit he gave us. Is we need more buttons on the soundboard. I need to come up with a better pipeline to getting sounds to the soundboard.
yes.
Do it. Just do it. Yeah, you don't care. But I think that's all we got, Philip. I think it's time to play that beautiful bean footage.
That has been our show, everybody. We want to thank the people in the chat who come and check us out. You're the real heroes for putting up with our crap. We record every other Monday live here on your favorite streaming channels. Check us out, boardsandswords.com/live. That's got the schedule. It's also got where you can find us. It also has information about all the things we've done in the past. So go and listen, and you can see how we have not matured and we're just as cringe as ever.
If not more cringe, because we've embraced it now. But yeah, send us feedback. We love it. There's still plenty of stuff to give away. I've only gotten like maybe 3 emails, and I think 2 of them were for Beetle. So email us, feedback@boardsandswords.com. Shut up, Phil! Phil from our store is in the chat room, and he's trying to get me to play Age of Sigmar now, too. Feedback@boardsandswords.com, Facebook @boardsandswordspod, Instagram @boardsandswordschris, and Twitter @boardsandSwords. Philip mentioned boardsandswords.com. Go there, links to everything else like our Patreon. Check it out to help support the show, and we'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. In the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and suddenly I'm being told that I need to play Age of Sigmar. Good night, everybody! So wait, Beetle, do you play actually? Do you play Age of Sigmar? Because that might be kind of cool. Because then we could do like another Dirtbags Invitational. Meet up somewhere and play some minis.
See, I'm with Rusty Beetle. That's right.
He says, "Oh hell no." Is this what it's like? Is this what it's been like all these years when I've been pushing games and like indirectly, and people are like, "Dang it, Chris, you're making me buy this game and that game," and now is this my karma? Is now everyone getting onto me and like, you need to play this game? Is that what this has been? Philip, you're probably the best one to answer this.
It sounds about right. Sounds about right. Yeah.
All right. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna shut the stream down. Thank you so much for watching. And we
wow.
will see you guys.